Hey friends, it's Mrs. Price. I am going to walk through lesson 24 with you. But first, let's read our objective so that we know what it is that we need to do on this worksheet. All right, your objective says, I can decompose and compose fractions greater than 1 to express them in various forms. So remember, decompose means you're taking the fraction apart. And then compose means you're putting it back together. Fractions that are greater than 1, we know that that's going to be an improper fraction. And you can see that on the very first one. 11/3 is a fraction that's greater than 1. And we're just going to express that in different ways, is all that means. So the directions say rename each fraction as a mixed number. Okay, so you can see that right here, 3 2/3. And you're going to do this by decomposing it into 2 parts. Model the decomposition with a number line and a number bond. Okay, so here is what we are going to start out doing. We're going to start out by taking 11/3 and decomposing it just like this. Okay, you're just going to write the equation that matches 11/3. You have to look at your denominator so you know you have thirds. And then you're just going to count 3/3, 6/3, right? 9/3, we're getting close. 3 more thirds would be 12/3, so that would be too big. But if we take 9, we know we need 2 more to make 11. So you just decomposed it into an equation, all right? Now, once you've done this part, then you can come down here and you can write it like this. So we would know that 11/3 is equal to 9/3 plus 2/3, and that's equal to 3, right? Because we know this is 1 whole plus 1 whole plus 1 whole. So it's equal to 3 plus 2/3. Okay, and you really don't need to worry about the number bond part. I'm not really concerned about this part. I would say just this portion right here. Then they came over and they did this exact same thing on a number line. Now what I did to help you out is I created tape diagrams. So I took this same equation right here and I represented that using the tape diagram. So here's 3/3, and then 6/3, 9/3, and then we're only going up to 11, so you can only color 2 of these 3. And you can easily see this is 1 whole, 1 whole, 1 whole, which equals 3, and then you have 2/3 left. So you can do it this way, you can represent it this way, or you can come over and you can represent it on a number line. Now, when you write it this way, it does help you create your number line. So you know that you need to draw a number line that's greater than 3, since we have 3 2/3. So you draw your number line, and it's gonna go all the way up to 4. So you plot 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you need to get your thirds in there, right? So this is 0/3. And they didn't label it, but you can label it 1/3, 2/3, and then 3/3, of course, is going to be 1. But if you need to put 3/3 down there, you can. Okay, then you just keep going, right? 4/3, 5/3, and then 6/3, which is equal to 2. 7/3, 8/3. And then 9/3, which is equal to 3. And so you can see this over here with your tape diagram. Keep going. 10/3, 11/3. And we know that that's where we're going to stop. And that's equal to 3. And you can see it on your number line. 3. And then you have 2/3 left. So that's how you would plot that on a number line. All right, so I'm going to do B with you. Okay, if you've already done B, then you can just double check your work. Make sure you did it right. Okay, so the first step is to take our improper fraction, 13/4, and we are going to write an equation. Okay, we're going to decompose it into an equation. So here we go. So we have fourths, right? We need to look at our denominator to help us out. So in order to start, we know we need 4/4 plus 4/4. That would be 8/4 plus 4 more would be 12. Uh-oh, now we're only going up to 13. So if this is 12, we can only do one more. Okay, so that's how you're decomposing that into an equation. Then the next step is to come over here. I'm gonna write 13/4. And it's equal to, what was this? 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12, right? So 12/4 plus 1/4, which also equals, now think about it, this is a whole, this is one whole, and this is one whole. So it's equal to 3 wholes and 1/4. Okay, and again, we're not going to worry about the number bond. If you did want to try out the number bond, the way that this would look would be, it would just be this right here, which is this right here, 12/4, right? And 1/4 is how you would break that down. But you don't have to do that part. I'm not really worried about that. I'm more concerned about this right here and then this right here, okay? All right, then you're going to come over here and I'm gonna say let's hold off on our number line and we're going to start out with our tape diagrams. Okay, so we're going to do 3 boxes. Actually, we're gonna do 4 boxes. I apologize. 3. Try to get them as equal as you possibly can. 4. And then we're partitioning those into fourths. Now, with fourths, I like to break it in half and then break those halves into halves. And then you have fourths. So you partition it in half and then break those halves into halves. Break it in half, partition those halves into halves, break it in half, and then break those into half. Now you have fourths. Okay. And I like to write up above. So you have 4/4. All right. Then this would be what? 8/4. And this would be 12/4. And remember, we're only going up to what? 13. So one more would be 13/4. Right? We're going to write 13/4. That's the improper fraction that we're decomposing. So that means that we have 3/4 left over. So this would be 1 whole, this would be 1 whole, and this is 1 whole. So we have 1, 2, 3 wholes and 3/4 remaining. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. I apologize. That's not 3/4, it's 1/4. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Price. My bad. That's 1/4. I apologize. This is 1/4, not 3/4. Hopefully you guys caught that before me. If you did, good for you. If you didn't, that's okay. 1/4. Sorry. You're only writing down what you're shading in. So, and that's exactly what we wrote right there. Now, if you were to go a step further and create your number line, that's where those tape diagrams really help you. Okay, so we're going to plot all the way up to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to partition these into fourths. So if this were 0/4, we would need 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and that would be 4/4. Okay, and if you need to write it below, you can. Sometimes it helps to write it below, and that's 4/4. You can even write that below the 1. And then we're going to partition, so we've got 3 lines. So 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, which is equal to 2. And again, you can write it below. I'll go ahead and write it to help you out. 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then we've got 9, 10, 11, and then 12/4. Okay, so that would be 9/4, 10/4, 11/4. Now remember, what are we trying to get to? 13/4. We're getting closer. 13/4, 15, 16. 14, 15, and then 16/4. And we're going to stop there. Okay, so you can clearly see that on our number line, we jump to 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 full jumps on the number line. And then we would just jump 1 time to get to 13/4. Right? So it would be 1/4. Okay? And you can even write kind of like they did up here, this entire jump, right, is 12/4. And then this one jump is 1/4. And that equals 3 1/4. So that's how you would solve B. All right, I'm going to let you do C, D, and E on your own. Take it one step at a time. Remember, start out with your equation first. And then come down here to this step using your equation and break it down into a tape diagram and use your tape diagram to help you create your number line. All right, good luck. If you need help, just let me know and I'm happy to walk you through it. Otherwise, have a good night.